I'll only be a minute. Yeah. Just on a political level, I just want to respond to Pat Cox there. I wasn't, Pat, questioning you as an individual and your own personal integrity. I do admire you for rising to the heights that you did politically, being born in Limerick, etc. Having said that, I actually think if you were the consummate, the seriously consummate politician, you would have anticipated a conflict of interest with regard to the appointment of somebody so closely associated with yourself. And the fact that you didn't anticipate that is a weakness. And I regret to say, but I have called for Patricia's resignation before, and I called for it again here tonight.
Una Heaton, Franklin Court Museum. As a resident of Limerick, I find very proud of Limerick, and I think we've all come together, but we've got to unite, guys. I mean, let's start getting rid of our problems and let's work together. We have a bad image. I've just come back from Renville, been there for the last 4 days, and they're reading the paper, it said City of Culture. Yeah, I've been propagating Limerick and saying how great we are. So listen, guys, let's round the table and let's sort our problem. Hold on. One more point.
Sorry, do you mind? I'll come back to you in a second, John.
One more point. I have been here, John, I've been here all my life, and I worked in the arts field, and I know what it's like not to have money, but I'll do with it. I'll go with it, right? We all have to. We can moan and groan or whatever, but let's all put up our hand and try something. Get together.
Thank you, Una. Sorry, yes.
Could I just ask, why is the CEO, Mary Noonan, I'm living in Limerick for a long time, dancer, choreographer. Just a simple question, as it would be really interesting and important, I think, for us to see and hear from the CEO, see her perspective. I just wonder, why is she not here tonight? Can anybody tell us?
She is here and has listened to everything you've said. Patricia, sorry, would you like to speak? Well, let's give her the opportunity. Let's give her the opportunity to speak then, please.
Okay, thanks, Richie. My name is Patricia Ryan. Some of you I've met before and more of you I haven't. I am from Limerick born and bred, and I went to university in Limerick. I did European studies. I've come back to work on this project. I would very much like to continue working on it. I have never claimed to have an artistic or a cultural background. My job is not to provide the artistic direction. The artistic director provides the artistic direction.
Censorship. Sorry, my beg your pardon.
That's okay.
Let's take the opportunity.
And so I would like to work with you. I would like to work with all of you. Somebody, I think it was Liam O'Brien, asked the question about funding and how does that continue. It all continues. The programme will continue. There is a fantastic programme in place, as I think everybody has acknowledged. Put in place by Carl Wallace and the team.
Yes.
Yeah, I absolutely acknowledge that. I didn't put the programme in place.
Could I ask you to go through the chair?
Anyway, that's it. Look, I would like to work with you. I am very much on board for this project.
Sorry, can I just reiterate that gentleman's question, because I don't think Patricia heard it, if that's okay, which is a very simple question. What are you bringing to the table?
I would like to bring the project management part to the table and say the artistic direction is for another person, it's for a different team, it's for the programming team. We still have one of the programmers is still working very, very hard with us, and I hope that we'll be in a position to move on very, very quickly from this. That's it, folks.
Yes. Sorry, Mary, you've already... Is there anybody else? Sorry, yes. I'm sorry. Yes, I'll go back. Yes, yes, I'm on my way. I'm really sorry. No, you've had your speak. Would you mind if I come back to you in a couple of minutes?
Yes, my name is Anne Fox. I'd just like to reiterate Tom Prendergast's question and to ask for an answer as to why this is all about Carl Wallace and why Carl Wallace has resigned, who was appointed according to the appropriate procedures, and not about the CEO. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to come back here. Yes, thank you, Jim. I will be a second.
Hello, my name is Louise Dondon and I'm the manager of the Lime Tree Theatre. And I suppose as people have been giving a short synopsis of their CVs, I guess I better do too. I'm not from Limerick. I worked here about 20 years ago as the general manager with Island Theatre Company, then moved to Druid, then on to Portlaoise to run a venue there for 12 years. And in the last 18 months I've come to Limerick to run the Lime Tree. I was also, for my sins, a member of the Arts Council up to just before Christmas and have finished my term with great relief. My point is, I have known Carl Wallace. I've been a colleague of Carl Wallace's for 9-10 years at this stage. I worked with him in a venue network while he was at UNCENSORED, and I was on the interview panel that was on the first batch of, it chose the final 3 people who went before the board to be chosen as artistic director. I deeply, deeply regret Carl's resignation. I think I tried, and many of us tried our best to convince him to stay on, and we couldn't do that. What we now need to do is to move forward, and I would refer everybody back to what Anne Blake had to say. There's a huge amount of positivity. There's a lot of work that we can implement and we can deliver. But we need to rebuild trust between the artistic and all the community in Limerick and the board of Limerick City of Culture. And I'm going to make a proposal that it might be a bit out of left field, but there's also a man on this board, on Limerick City of Culture board, who was a senior civil servant for the Irish government at the Good Friday Agreement talks. He's from Limerick, and he has just chaired the gathering, an extremely successful event. Now, I'm not proposing that he replaces Pat, but Pat has said he's not available next week. But perhaps Tim O'Connor could be a kind of an independent broker between us and the board, and in some way forge a way forward that we can have confidence in the delivery of the programme.
Yes, Jim, I'm coming to you. Yes.
Thanks, Richie. My name is Jim O'Farrell. I'm a local artist for many, many years. And I came to the meeting for one reason tonight. And that is to give support to one person who I think over 25 years, you know, when you talk about creative and artistic people and you want them on board and you want the best. Well, somebody is here tonight and who has given practically 30 years to the artistic world in Limerick, who has been an adjudicator, national adjudicator to AIMS, has produced musicals, has produced plays, has produced radio and talk shows. And before we leave tonight, I would like and love everybody's support to have him on board. And I'm talking about Richie Ryan himself.
This is not the time or place, I think. Thank you, Jim, for your kind thoughts and words. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Cian Prendeville, and like Mr. Cox, Pat and Patricia, I also am not a member of the artistic community other than having attended all your lovely events and things. But from that outside point of view, I think I share the same desires as other people here, which is to see a united City of Culture event that will fully take grasp the opportunities that are there. But it strikes me, and I'd address this point to Pat and to Patricia, that from sharing the same point of view from the outside, that it strikes me that that isn't possible as it stands. A schism, a difference exists between the artistic community and the board that I don't think, it strikes me as completely obvious from this meeting alone, that can be overcome by the very meek proposals that Pat made at the start of the meeting. And I'd urge them to reflect on that there needs to be a more fundamental overhaul of the structure of the board. That's the first thing. And secondly, I'd like to address a question just to Con Murray, which is he said that he would never in his life cast aspersions and raise the question of the review that was being done. He would never do that about somebody when they were leaving, raise that they were facing a review. I'd ask him then, would he condemn those that did raise that? Yes. And would he call for those that did raise that to resign from this board?
Thank you. Yes.
Hello. My name is John O'Regan. I'm a freelance writer from Limerick. I work mostly in the UK and also in Dublin, not in Limerick. But I have a suggestion to make. If you're going to make the City of Culture idea really work, bring it to the street like they did to Treaty 300. Open an office somewhere in the main street, get local people in to run it, have it there open 5 days a week, and have a situation whereby people with ideas can walk in and their ideas can be listened to. And if they can be supported, well and good. But please bring it to the street. Don't leave it up in an ivory tower, because that is not going to work. I can tell you that from experience in Manchester, London, New York, and various other festivals that I have seen down through the years, which have worked simply because the local people get behind it and support it. Thank you.
Anybody else back here that wants to? Anybody in the? Thank you very much indeed. Yes, sorry, Anne. Yeah. And I also needed to come back here. Thank you.
Just a quick response to John. Hi, John. No, John. Well, that was done, and that's what Carl managed in a shockingly short amount of time to do. He did engage with the public, and I just think it's very important that that's acknowledged.
Thank you, Anne. Sorry. Yeah, I'll come back to you in a second. Thank you.
Thanks, Richie. Sorry. Just to return to my original question, certainly personally I would like to leave this meeting tonight knowing there's an exact time, date, venue for the answers to come. I appreciate you may be in Brussels, Mr. Cox. Is it possible that either the CEO or any of the other board members could respond to the questions and we could all reconvene in the Strand Hotel at 6 o'clock next Thursday to receive answers to those questions that have been asked?
Thank you. Yes, you may, absolutely. Yes, I'm sorry.
Sorry, Cecilia Madden, I spoke already, and just to say who I am. I'm a music teacher and I'm involved in the children's opera project Noah's Flood. Just to say also to that gentleman who said that there's no music, there's lots of music programmes coming through, just so you know. They mightn't be traditional Irish, but there are some. Anyway, just to continue on that man's point there, that I think it's an excellent idea that there should be a reconvening, but I don't think they need 6 days.
Okay, sorry, thank you. Can I, there was a gentleman in here. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm trying to be as flexible.
Thanks, Richie. It's a bit, this is, okay, I'll be quick, which is kind of unusual for me. Hi, yes, I was going to do that, thank you. Seamus Ryan, I don't perform because I'm terrified of crowds. But I go to things, and occasionally I even go to sporting things. And last year I saw 5 excellent theatre shows in Limerick, and 3 of them were home produced, everything. And as it happens, those 3 shows, the 3 people, or the 3 groups who organised them, all represented here. Calm, breathe, it's cool. Okay, firstly, those questions, 3 points, let's say, I'll pick them at random. Those questions that were provided need to be answered. I think they should really be answered now, despite having to go back to the board, because they are very simple questions. I'll skip the second one. The third thing is, I'm not going to start speaking on behalf of 100,000 people out there, but I don't perform. So for what it's worth, and half ignoring my complete misgivings about the board, and I have them, and they're well-founded, and that's come out. For what it's worth, for the ordinary people who go to shows, and I realise a lot of people don't, the artistic community, I recognise a lot of people here that don't recognise me because I'm sitting at the back in the dark. You have my confidence for what it's worth, and I think you've got the confidence of a lot of people out there. So please, for the love of God, just keep doing what you're doing, regardless of the, use your own word at the end.
Thank you. Again, I'm just conscious of time, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to see if we could come to some sort of, you may not be, but there may be other people.
Okay, I'm Michael Farnstrom. I won't give you the CV, I don't need to. I mean, the board has failed. And have said, I think, in the papers and podcasts, that they would like to take responsibility for that. Normally, I mean, we're the stakeholders, some of the stakeholders. So I think we should ask the board to resign and withdraw and get a new board that works for us, not for them.
Thank you. Yes.
Hi, Reggie. Colin O'Brien is my name, folks. I'm a Dub, and I chose to relocate to Limerick. I live in Limerick now since 1998, and I love Limerick. Limerick's become my home. I'm proud to say that I'm a citizen. My biggest disappointment with what's going on here is I spend my time defending Limerick's damaged image with my friends and relatives that live in Dublin. And I just think that's such a disappointment that this opportunity that we have to make Limerick City Culture 2014 is currently scarred, and it needs to be rectified. Greta said it best earlier. We need to get back on track and do it now. There needs to be some forgiveness. I do have to say, though, I think I'm managing director of my own business. I also run theatre at the Savoy as a sort of a part-time gig because I enjoy the arts. I think there's some wonderful practitioners here. There's very committed people here. I do think the board. I have to say this, Mr. Cox. I do think the board has misjudged the vibe on the street in relation to this. Carl Wallace, I've met the man several times.